This NBA Round 1 Playoff Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by MyBookie.ag. Sports are back, and MyBookie is now offering a 100% deposit bonus when you use the promo code SGP. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGP to play, win, and get paid. We're also brought to you by the leaders in daily fantasy, DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app and use the promo code SGP to play free with your first deposit today. Compete for millions of dollars. Hold on. God fucking damn it. All right. Sorry. Stop it and start it again.
I'm glad it's not me. I take forever to read these.
Normally I got it. I'm just,
this is very rare.
Was worn out from this NBA Round 1 Playoff Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast. It's presented by MyBookie.ag. Sports are back, and MyBookie is now offering a 100% deposit bonus when you use the promo code SGP. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGP to play, win, and get paid. We're also brought to you by the leaders in daily fantasy, DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app and use the promo code SGP to play free with your first deposit today. Compete for millions of dollars in total prizes up for grabs this week. That's promo code SGP to get a shot at millions of dollars in prizes all week long, only at DraftKings. We're also brought to you by BetQL. Want to get an advantage over the sportsbook with NBA, NHL, and MLB back in action? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets this season. Head to betql.co and enter code SGP20 for 20% off your first subscription. That's betql.co, promo code SGP20. Finally, we're brought to you by Ace Per Head. Ace is the leader in pay-per-head providers, and they make it super easy to start your own sportsbook. Plus, Ace is offering up to 6 weeks free over at aceperhead.com/SGP. That's aceperhead.com/SGP. Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's up, Kramer dog?
Jesus Christ, these Sims are going to take years off my life, Sean.
Yes, we're recording this after a surprise Madden Sim. We hopped on the sticks here, recording this Saturday night. Hopped on, threw out a Madden Sim, and we're announcing that we're going to be doing Monday Night Madden, 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Pacific time, doing some Madden Sims, getting people jacked up for the football season. Our division podcasts are up for a download. We got AFC West, NFC West.
We are 37.5% done, Sean.
AFC North. Wait, that's 3 out of 8. Okay, so 30. What do you have it as?
37.5% done. I know you like your numbers.
The math checks out. But we're going to take a quick little sidestep here.
Ooh.
Talk round ball, NBA, of course, and joining us on the line. Jump the gun there. Host of the NBA Gambling Podcast, its own separate podcast feed, available on Apple and Spotify. Ryan, Rich, Fat Baby McKee. What's happening, McKee?
Thank you. I am sorry I stepped on your introduction. I was just going to say a step in the right direction, not a sidestep. Doing a little basketball.
There you go. Getting talking. It's the NBA playoffs.
Well, last I checked, we have 2 legs. A left foot can take a step, and then a right foot can take a step.
We can multitask as hashtag
Legends only.
We can find time to gamble on NFL win totals and the NBA playoffs. It's just been such a weird time sports wise. We're trying to get ready for the NFL, but then we got NBA playoffs going, little MLB action, NHL playoffs. I've been betting on my Flyers. They got worked by the Canadians last night, but they're coming back. I still like them to win it all. We'll see. Maybe I'm jinxing them there, but NBA, the bubble's been going. It's been popping off. They've got 0 COVID tests, in spite of everyone who said it was crazy, a crazy risk. They're putting everyone's life on the line just to play basketball. Of course, it's fine.
Well, and no one's trying to sneak anyone in the bubble.
Well,
sure, people are sneaking out of the bubble.
Well, I mean, they know none that we know of. I think James Harden has definitely snuck some Instagram models in the bubble. He's just real good about it.
Yes, exactly. I think if you're putting up 30 points per game,
with a beard.
Yeah, that's why he grows the beard out. You just put a couple of 5-6 strippers in that beard, smuggle them in there. That, I mean, we mentioned it on the sim, but the story, of course, from the Seahawks training camp where a guy tried to smuggle a girl in.
Yes, please.
Dressed in Seahawks gear to make her look like a player. And then one of the NFL coaches commented, "Well, hopefully she didn't have the same build."
Oh,
but
maybe he's into that.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Hey, big chicks need love too, but not when you're quarantining, getting ready for the NFL season. McKee, your Suns, they went 8-0.
Oh my God.
Not good enough to get them into the bubble. Of course, the Blazers, they beat the Grizzlies earlier this morning. To
my Blazers.
Lock up the 8 seed. You and our buddy Frank, of course, riding the Blazers.
I told you I'm wearing my Melo shirt. I'm representing Melo right now.
You did.
I stand with Melo.
And one of my, I think one of my early NBA playoff bets were Blazers to make the playoffs. So cash that. But I was rooting for the Suns. McKee 8-0 in the bubble, not good enough to get into the playoffs. As a Suns fan, you got to be stoked that you have this momentum. But walk us through where you're at mentally.
Well, first, I mean, can we agree that Arizona fans are definitely amongst the most tortured fan bases in
it's real
professional sports?
Given
do you even know how many of the 4 major sports? Do you even know how many championships we have?
Diamondbacks won it once.
The Cardinals almost
and that's it. You named the one.
Really?
And it took a broken bat off Mariano Rivera to do it. You lucky bastards.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's our one. Give it to us. But yeah, man, it was real exciting watching these Suns. I got so jacked up. I was yelling at the TV for, Karis LeVert was going to be my hero when he hit that last second shot to send Portland home. And I, even though Sean, like you, I bet Portland to make the playoffs right before. I think I got like plus 370 odds on that. So
yeah,
that
it was a good price.
Well, it hasn't cashed yet, but it did cash. Yeah, they did beat them the other day. And so yeah, I feel good about that. But I felt I would rather seen my Suns in there.
Yeah, in the NBA, hopefully they don't ever have to do it. Well, it sounds like maybe regular season, if there isn't, they haven't figured out this COVID shit. They're going to run the bubble back, do it a little different. But I mean, there should have been some rule where if you go 8-0, you automatically get into this little play-in mix with the other 2 teams. You can't go undefeated in the bubble and then send the guys home. Then what the fuck? What was the point of you going to the bubble?
Have a heat check rule that states that you have to lose to leave the bubble.
You don't lose. Winner stays. We've all played playground basketball.
You watched fucking Thunderdome?
Yeah.
2 men enter, 1 man leave. The Suns never had to leave.
The Suns never had to leave until, of course, of course they had to leave.
I mean, I'm super optimistic though. I'm so glad that they went on this run. I feel like that will quiet the bullshit Draymond Green cries for Devin Booker. Get out of Phoenix. I didn't want to listen to that all off season, no matter how short or long the off season is going to be. You got to figure that out. But I feel like this team showed that they have something as a nucleus. Monty Williams is a great coach. He really inspires these young guys. He's great for player development. I can see if they can just stay together. I really, he's even Dario Saric is out there playing like Embiid. I mean, he looked great. So I'm pumped even if they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
look at that.
It's a classic Phoenix attitude.
Yeah, I like that.
You have to. They went 8-0. How are you not going to be excited about that?
They wouldn't even know. I mean, there is a certain aspect to it where, like, I don't know if I've talked about this, but when I went on my championship run and we won the championship, we were all so naive.
Is this you talking
youth
about
soccer as a coach, of course? We were so naive to think that, wow, we get to play more games.
Yeah.
And,
you hadn't been there. You didn't even know to be nervous.
I didn't know to be nervous. Just knew to be a champion, just instinctual genetics.
You know who's the champion of online sports books? MyBookie.ag. God bless MyBookie. It's August. We're watching Hard Knocks. We're getting fired up. We have the preview of NFL happening while NBA playoff. It's a gambling cornucopia over at MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code SGP, get a 100% deposit bonus. Again, Sims are coming back Monday Night Madden. Stay tuned for that. And MyBookie.ag, the exclusive place to bet on the Sims that we're going to be announcing. But again, live in-game wagering, hockey, MLB, NBA, NFL, and PGA. Again, golf is happening.
Preach on.
If you missed out, we dropped a new golf gambling podcast. Steve Shermer, Boston Capper teaming up on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network feed to talk golf.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Again, you can bet on it all over at mybookie.ag. Promo code SGP. So before we're going to throw out a DFS lineup here in a second, but any sort of big picture bubble thoughts? I know you and Zach have been teaming up a lot of the days to crank out new podcasts daily for the NBA gambling podcast feed.
Yeah,
just cranking out the content.
You guys would have been real proud of me on Friday morning. I had quite the after watching the Suns lose out on that playoff spot. I had quite a bit of tequila with my dad to commiserate, but I got up bright and early to record with Zach, so we could do our bubble grades for the teams and also preview the West Coast Western Conference play-in game. So,
shoot,
we've been doing it every day. What's that?
Shoot or shoot.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, I mean, I think overall the bubble fucking worked, and that's awesome. And it was great basketball, except when it wasn't, when the teams didn't care when they were playing. But you knew those games. It was all over the place. You know, even when you didn't think a team had a chance of winning, you know, a scrappy team like Brooklyn would come up and they just played great. And Brooklyn made me real excited actually to watch them in the first round when I definitely wouldn't have been before this.
Yeah, and of course the big names, kind of I don't know, whatever. KD wasn't going to bother showing up for the bubble. Kyrie Irving.
Oh, here we go.
He's out there going to the edge of the earth. Whatever he's up to.
I was going to say, is the bubble flat? That's the question. He's got a lot. That's the only reason he showed up. He wanted to get those answers, those questions answered.
So yeah, I mean, the Suns were kind of exciting. Of course, the Sixers. Ben Simmons got hurt. He's out for the season.
Real bummer.
It's not cursing my Sixers fever. I got a huge Sixers fever. We're gonna get. That's the only fever I got. I don't have COVID. I have Sixers fever.
You got a full Sixer?
I got a full Sixer.
You just came from the free clinic and you don't have any other fevers?
The only disease I got is Sixers fever and gambling addiction. Before we get into this DraftKings lineup, perfect time to mention DraftKings. That's right. Regular season, it's fun and all, but the playoffs, that's where the next level of excitement happens, especially with the NBA. These regular seasons, the bubble added an extra level of the regular season NBA excitement, but let's be honest, the NBA playoffs, that's where it happens. Basketball and hockey, the best part, of course, are the playoffs. DraftKings, they're putting you in the center of the action. Millions in prizes throughout the week. No better place to start making it rain. Start playing for free with your first deposit. And of course, use that promo code SGP for your chance at millions of dollars in prizes throughout the week. And DraftKings Best Ball, they just launched it. Make sure you check out that Best Ball podcast we did with John Jackson, writer for the Sports Gambling Podcast, fantasy expert. It is, I can't say enough how fun it is to just keep playing these best ball lineups.
It's set it and forget it.
Download the DraftKings app and use the promo code SGP to play free with your first deposit today. Compete for millions of dollars in total prizes up for grabs this week. That's promo code SGP to get a shot at millions of dollars in prizes all week long. Only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. McKee.
Wait a minute. You guys got John Jackson on the podcast, but he said he didn't have time to write an article for me this week.
Oh no.
Wow.
That is
we
bullshit.
We're getting him in trouble.
Yeah, we did. We're throwing him under the bus. Amazing time though. But the best ball for NFL, it's a $20 draft that you play all season long. And again, you got a shot at
I love it.
Millions of dollars. I'm already, and Kramer and I before, because we were going over our NBA lineup before the show. One note to DraftKings, if you're listening to the podcast, and I'm sure they are, because they like winning at DraftKings as well. Can they store the lineup somewhere else?
Yeah, because maybe a best ball tab.
Yeah. Now I open up my lineups and there's like 9 millionaire maker week one, like 6 best ball lineups sitting in there, and I got to sort through to find my.
Yeah, can you make this more DGen friendly?
My NBA classic lineup,
please.
All right, McKee, let's kick things off. What are you doing, point guard, for your DraftKings? Now this is just for Monday's games. But they got 4 games going, so that's a nice size
4
slate.
Games going.
What are you kicking off? Who's your point guard?
I am going to start with a player near and dear to your heart, Alec Burks, because the backcourt for the 76ers has been decimated. So he's been getting a lot of minutes. If you look, he's, in his last few games, he has been playing 22 to 28 minutes. And he's, as far as fantasy points go, he's getting 35, 34, 29, 31. I mean, at the sweet low price tag of $3,900, slide him right in there and save the money for bigger players.
Kramer, point guard.
Well, I had him in a different slot, but I just adjusted it because I felt like I had to start with him. He's certainly going to be a guy that for 3,900, if he's going to get the full minutes, you just gotta start with some points. So I went with him as well. Burks for 3,900.
Okay. I didn't.
I
didn't
love how we took Sean's ability to. You didn't go with him.
No, I didn't. I have. I have Matisse Thybulle, and I got him, but I have him at the utility spot, and he's only $3,300. So he's my kind of Sixers value guy.
Okay. You're skipping ahead.
We'll save that though. But my point guard, I'm going Freddie Van Vliet.
That's your guy.
It's Fleet week, baby. Give me the Raptors. I mean, I think again. Not to toot my own horn. Not that I'm afraid to toot my own horn.
You're not afraid.
But the Raptors, I kept throwing out as like a sneaky play in the East, and things are just lining up great for them.
They know how to win in the big.
They're just they're a great playoff team. They're a true team, well coached, scrappy. They do all the right things. They're just kind of like that typical team. And I mean, as fun as Brooklyn's been in the bubble, I think they're in for a wake up call against the Raptors. Freddie Van Vliet. 6,800. McKee, who's your shooting guard?
Yeah. Oh, well, real quick, I'll just jump ahead to, I have Van Vliet too in my guard spot. And I just wanted to jump on and say, you have all the reasons you said, great pick. Also, I don't know if you noticed in the bubble, teams were running up the score on Brooklyn's defense. No defense on Brooklyn. And, Brooklyn would just then outscore them. So I have a feeling Van Vliet is going to have an easy time getting a ton of buckets.
So, go ahead. Sorry, McKee.
What was that?
I was going to pile on. I was just going to get it out of the way because I also have him in my shooting guard spot for all the reasons you said. But basically, I was going to say, but mainly Brooklyn, no defense, like zero defense, playing overs in those games too.
Yeah. So we all have Van Vliet in our shooting guard spot. Yeah.
Yeah. So who's first up then? It's back to.
No, I got my shooting guard.
Oh, you don't have him, and you had him in your point guard spot. Did. That's what it is. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So much overlap. That means we're all locked and loaded. We know who's going to win.
For my shooting guard, I went with fellow chicken wing lover, fellow lover of adult entertainment, sweet Lou Williams, $6,000.
Oh, love it.
I just like throwing this guy in there. He came back. He's got his, he took his time for a family emergency. A lot of people are making light of it. The man's got to eat, and I think he might be eaten against this. I think this Mavs team, especially if Patrick Beverley, he's got a calf issue going on, and if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm not rushing Patrick Beverley back especially against the Mavs, who I think they should be able to handle. And I think Lou Williams might get a decent chunk of minutes. Only $6,000. Like the value play there. McKee, what are you doing at forward there?
Small forward.
I'm going at small forward with. This is where I start spending my money. Kawhi Leonard.
Damn it, McKee.
$9,800. Dallas has the best offense in all the league, but they have not played defense one bit. Look at their scores. They're giving up so much points. I feel like, Kawhi is going to switch into Terminator playoff mode. He's going to have a big game.
Again, I'll pile on because he's my small forward. I think when I went into this, the starting position was I want to get guys from the Raptors and the Clippers that I like in this lineup, and I'm going to look to zig back maybe with some cheaper options the other way because these games are going to have some points in them.
Yeah,
Kawhi Leonard, 9,800. My small forward.
My small forward, Tobias Harris.
Oh, okay.
Why not? I'm loading up on the Sixers.
That's never a good justification.
No, I mean,
why not sales pitch?
Just stacking Sixers.
Stacking Sixers.
Have you heard? I've got second place in a.
That's
million.
the unbiased analysis you want from me. No, I like their matchup against the Celtics. They were 3-1 against the Celtics in the regular season, and I mean, this is really an indictment on Brett Brown, but he can't figure out how to get Simmons and Embiid to really maximize both them on the court at the same time. Maybe Simmons not being there in a weird way helps figure out the lineup here, and they could just play big. But Tobias Harris, not a problem scoring. So yeah, give me Tobias Harris here at $7,800. McKee, what are you doing in the power forward spot?
Well, Coach Malone for the Denver Nuggets has come out and said that breakout star in the bubble, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be starting for the Nuggets, and they really need his 3-point shooting. Just his athleticism. I think he's going to be playing a lot of minutes, put up monster numbers in the bubble. He's only 7,100. I slid him right there in my power forward spot. I can see him really outperforming that price.
So I just told you, I like that pick, by the way. I didn't find a way to get him in my lineup, but I told you, I think this Clippers Dallas game, I like this position. I want to take some shares of this game. And I needed to get a guy, maybe save a couple bucks. Also noticed he played at Virginia Tech. Not many guys in the league who even ever suited up for Virginia Tech basketball. So I went Dorian Finney-Smith. He did transfer away from Virginia Tech, but he 4,800 power forward for the aforementioned Dallas Mavericks, and pretty remarkable to me. See how many minutes he's getting. Minutes hog. So we'll see. There's potential there. He hasn't been cashing in on the minutes every night, but price point's right. Dorian Finney-Smith for the Dallas Mavericks.
I also power forward got Porter Jr. in there for the Nuggets, and McKee buried the lead. Porter has been selected to the all bubble second team. Oh, no. So congratulations. Breaking news. Porter Jr.
That's prestigious, right?
Yeah.
I actually put him on my first team.
Oh really? Okay. So yeah,
Zach and I did our bubble teams. I put him on my first team.
He's had an awesome bubble, and why not take a guy like that? Awesome bubble. I like the matchup overall. Nuggets against Utah. We'll get into that in the series prices, but yeah, Porter Jr. great spot there. Only 7,100. So what are you doing at center, McKee? And why are you taking Joel Embiid?
Well, I really did look at how to build a good lineup around Joel Embiid. I think if the Sixers are going to win, Joel Embiid is just going to have some throwback Shaq games. However, with the other players I wanted to take, I wasn't able to fit him in. So I went with a much cheaper center who has had a very good bubble with Harrell being out. I went with Zubac at 4,100.
Much
Dallas, cheaper. Yeah, much cheaper. Sure, Porzingis is going to do whatever he wants to do and score all over, but Zubac is going to play a lot of minutes. And he looks in shape. He is, most big guys, you see them kind of like running back up the court well after the rest of the players. He is sprinting back on defense with the wings. He looks good. I think the Clippers are going to lean on him pretty heavy in this series until Harrell feels healthy enough to come back.
I like it.
Sean, is it my turn to do a center?
Yeah. Give us your center.
Well, of course I'm going to pick Marc Gasol. He's the best looking guy in the bubble. And he has a favorable matchup, and I don't know, he's battle tested. 4,300. I was kind of scrapping here, but yeah, give me Marc Gasol because he's so damn good looking. 4,300.
Kramer likes to.
I mean, who would you put in your center spot? Who has it better than me? Great looking center from Spain.
Oh, I'll tell you, guys.
Great looking center from Spain.
Joel Embiid.
Oh, no, you guys are crazy.
10,200. But again, this is me expecting a Sixers game 1 win. Joel Embiid will be, pumping his hands up, calling for the virtual fans to go crazy. Even though it's technically in Boston, he'll go crazy. They'll win game 1. He'll drink a ton of Shirley Temples after the game. His blood sugar will go through the roof. His foot will swell up from some undiagnosed diabetes condition. They'll fall down a flight of stairs, and then they'll be out of the playoffs. But game one will give us a lot of hope, and he's done pretty well against Boston. So he's got a strong, he's been strong against the Celtics. So give me Joel Embiid and 10,200. Not too. I mean, it's super expensive, but I was trying to get him and Jokic in. I couldn't figure it out, but give me Embiid 10,200. What are you doing at your extra guard spot here, McKee? You already threw that out, right?
No, actually, I just went with Van Vliet in my shooting guard, so I'll give the generic guard I threw in there. So I really do feel like the only, Toronto's defense, one of the best in the league. The only way that Brooklyn is going to be able to compete with these guys at all is if they get hot from three. Toronto does give up quite a bit of 3-pointers, and the man they need to do that, Joe Harris. He won the 3-point competition a couple years back, and he had a pretty good bubble when he played. Like real consistent. And for only 4,700. I like him as just, this is one of those bigger contests. So you're going to need to pick a few outliers, hope they get hot to win this thing. So give me Joe Harris.
I like that pick.
And I think you said 4,100, right? He's actually 4,700.
I was looking at Zubac right above him is 4,100. Harris is 4,700. Yeah.
And I just know that because I also had Joe Harris at my guard spot. Similar reasoning.
No, you're cutting ahead of me.
Well, the Nets can put up some stats, and it's not a bad angle to throw some of those guys in there. Kramer, what are you doing for your guard spot?
Going back to Toronto, I have Gasol, I have Van Fleet. Why not give me the other guard? One of my favorite guys to root for in all the NBA, Kyle Lowry. 7,900. I told you up top I was gonna look to load up against Dallas and Brooklyn, and that's what I'm doing. Kyle Lowry 7,900 in the guard spot.
Nice. All right, closing it out. We got 2 positions left. McKee, what are you doing for your extra forward spot?
Okay, so this is going to complete my Clippers stack. I got Paul George 8,100. Paul George, I took Paul George for the same reason I took Zubac and Leonard. Dallas plays no defense. I think that these, George and Leonard are just going to have their way. These 2 long wings. I feel like they're finally healthy, playing together. I see them putting up a lot of points against this Dallas team. They're just going to try to outscore each other and not play defense. So there you go.
I also have Paul George. Got him in the snuck him in the forward spot. Dick Olson would not like that. And again. Who plays worse defense, Dallas or Brooklyn?
It's close. It's close.
neither.
So again, you're not gonna go broke playing these guys. I think you just load up on these teams. I think I'm gonna maybe play a couple more variations that have just heavy Toronto Clippers shares. But for my forward, Paul George, 8,100.
I was gonna say I had Dick Olson's voice in the back of my head too, saying I can't do that. But if you took Kawhi Leonard, Paul George only qualifies in the small forward spot, so you have to put him in your general forward spot.
Oh, look at that! He has a rebuttal.
I went to the Nets Raptors game as well. Didn't have a ton of cash left, but I was able to get Luwawu Cabaret.
Oh, you got picked him just to say the name.
I think I nailed that. Regardless, he's only 4,000. And again, I like Raptors in the series, and I like him in game 1. But Cabaret, coming off a 24-point game against the Magic. How do you pronounce his last name?
No, I'm laughing. I'm just laughing at you leaning into the name.
Oh yeah, you got it. Luwawu Cabaret, $4,000. Close things out. McKee, what's your utility spot?
Ended up having enough to throw in Serge Ibaka at 5,400. This is another one that not a sexy player. A lot
Surge
of people
protector.
Yeah, exactly. He's not a lot of people are going to think to throw him in lineups, but he actually had a very last good game against that Memphis team. While the team lost, I mean, he had 43 fantasy DraftKings fantasy points in 25 minutes. So he's able to put up big numbers quickly, especially against a Brooklyn team that's going to struggle, I believe. Give me Serge.
All right. Last spot, Sean.
Last spot.
I already pulled one cheaper option from Dallas because I know there's going to be a lot of points in that game. I need a cheaper option from Brooklyn. So I pull up the old dollars and I see I have 4,400 left, and who is priced at $4,400? Mr. Garrett Temple. You like Temple? It's great.
Temple
University
strong.
of Philly. I am hoping that this guy can fill out my winning lineup. What's the top prize in this contest?
$150K.
I guess that would be
almost
okay.
worth doing.
4,400. Garrett Temple for your Brooklyn Nets.
And like I said, my final guy, Matisse Thybulle, only $3,300. Not like a huge offensive presence, but
do you sit down and say, "Let me find some fucking hard names"?
the craziest names to pronounce. He's coming off the last game he played against the Rockets, 23 fantasy points, and for a guy who's only costing you $3,300, going to get more playing time because of Simmons being down. It just makes a lot of sense.
Marc Gasol's headshot for DraftKings is very nice.
Oh, you're loving it, Kramer.
Very nice.
You're loving it. Playoffs are here. NBA, NHL, they're back. MLB going strong. You want an app that's going to help you out? You got to download BetQL. They got sharp data for the NBA, MLB, and NHL, of course. Need the inside edge? See what the pros are doing? You got to go to betql.co. If you want to sign up for their premium subscription, use the promo code SGP20, 20% off your first subscription, or just use the free one. Make sure you check out that app, Google Store or App Store or Google Play. They got that best bets algorithm, scans thousands of data points, give you a best bet recommendation for every game. If you're a DGen only,
#Degens only.
like I gotta bet on this early NBA playoff game. I'm kind of torn between two teams. Just fire up the BetQL app, and they'll give you a lean. And 67% on their 5-star picks. So make sure you check them out. BetQL.co. Promo code SGP20.
It's 2 out of 3, Sean.
What? It's 2 out of 3.
67%.
Oh yeah,
It's doing math.
very strong trend. All right, McKee, we're gonna go over these series prices, courtesy of mybookie.ag. Starting in the East, the Bucks minus 15,000 against the Magic.
What?
Plus 3,000, 30-1 to win this series. I don't know. I certainly people are excited that the Magic have or no one's excited for the Magic. I was confusing them with the Nets for a second. But the Bucks have looked really bad in the bubble. Did they just turn it on in this first round? Is it just that simple?
Yeah, I think it's just that simple that they turn it on. They had some COVID issues with Pat Connaughton and Eric Bledsoe. I have a feeling that after Giannis headbutted a guy, he's gonna be back totally in. He's gonna be back in full Giannis mode. I'm sure he's gonna be good. If you're gonna bet this series, I say you bet. I bet this. Just bet the sweep and get better odds. So Bucks winning 4 minus 125.
That's probably the right bet. But I mean, to Sean's point, 3 and 5 straight up. So
yeah,
I mean it's one of those things. It's scary. Like, sure, I understand that too. I don't know if I'm getting involved.
But yeah, are the Bucks able to kind of turn it on? I'll take a crack at
in a normal year.
Bucks sweep at minus 125.
This is
for
the
sure.
classic sweep opportunity.
But there is no home court, and the Magic have been playing on these courts, and they are technically the home team. You're playing in Orlando. Now I know it probably won't help them in any sense, but I don't know.
They look bad.
Yeah, they have looked really bad. The Bucks will turn it on. I'm gonna just take that minus 125. Bucks will sweep. Number 1 seeds 67-5 against the 8 seeds.
Ooh.
So do you think
You're saying it doesn't happen?
Do you think there's more of a chance of an upset here, McKee? Now that I mean, maybe. Do you think the underdogs have a bigger chance because of the no home court? How much do you think that'll actually factor in?
I mean, I guess theoretically they have a better chance. Most underdogs, when it gets to the middle, like 3 through 6, all those teams seem about the same. So it's hard to really decipher underdogs. But I will say that I would say that the Trailblazers have the best shot of upsetting the Lakers more so than any 8 seed team in the last 8 years. I would suppose, I mean, it's going to be real hard, but it's in the realm of possibility.
Well, yeah, let's get over to that game. Lakers in the West versus the 8 seed Blazers. Lakers minus 435, Blazers plus 335. You're making a case for why the Blazers have a shot, and certainly kind of finishing strong here. Dame getting hot. CJ McCollum, even though he's got a fractured back, playing strong here towards the finish. I would almost go the other way and say this is the lowest price you'll ever see on a number one. I mean, LeBron James is not losing a first round playoff series. Not in our lifetime. Maybe down the line, but this LeBron getting knocked out of the first round playoff series minus 435. I'm normally not a guy who's going to lay minus 435, but I think there's actually value in this because people have kind of fallen in love with this Blazers team.
Sean stays south of 200 when he's laying. No, at Lakers. So since I wrote these numbers down, Sean.
Yes.
The Lakers are now minus 530.
Wow.
Which indicates to me that people aren't buying the bullshit of, hot team. Charles Barkley just picked him to win the championship. This is the Blazers year. I mean, to your point, I think that what you're saying is I'm going to zig back because why not fade the public perception? But here's what I'll say. Remember, Dion Waiters, Dwight Howard, J.R. Smith, all on the Lakers.
Yes, that is scary.
Imagine laying minus 500 and having those guys playing minutes for you.
It is a little scary, but again, the Lakers just needed that
with
first.
The Trailblazers backcourt too. I mean, Trailblazers backcourt is, arguably best in the league right now. I mean, McCollum's back has been irritating him, but he played like fire today. And you got guys like Quinn Cook and J.R. Smith guarding those two guys. I mean, it's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm still betting on the Lakers to win the series, but again, not out of the realm of possibility. No home court advantage could be interesting.
Strangely, I actually think the no home court advantage hurts the Blazers more than it would. Like, I mean, I think that's a bigger advantage for them in a normal season. So yeah, I mean, it's fun to say. I mean, I would love to see Dame go on and win a championship. It would be the perfect year for him to do that. I don't think he's ever going to be equipped to win one in a full season, but maybe this is how Portland gets one.
Yeah,
but we're not fading LeBron. We told ourselves when the NBA restarted, thank the good NBA gambling gods, because now we get to bet on LeBron James, and I think we even called it out that there might be a discount on him.
Yeah.
And this appears to be that discount. So maybe, Sean, the angle here is we find either a juicy way to play the exact price, or we throw this into a parlay.
Now I can't find the series spread prices, but I would imagine Lakers minus 2.5 would be the series spread, Kramer.
The price would indicate it's going to be somewhere between 2.5 and 1.5. The juice is going to be tangled up in there. So I would say if you're looking, if your angle is let me play the Lakers minus 1.5, you're probably laying a minus 150. If you're looking to play Blazers plus 2.5, you're probably laying a minus 200.
So my official play be Lakers minus 1.5 games. Kramer, McKee, what are you advising your clients to do here?
I mean, I mean, go ahead, McKee.
I was gonna say if you want to roll the dice a little bit, get some better odds. Lakers win in 7 plus 475. Why not? I mean, maybe this Blazers team can push them to 7.
And that would be the ultimate way for LeBron to get out of having to win a championship, and that's have to go to deep into these series and get worn down. I mean, I think Portland definitely wins a game or two. I don't know if it gets to 7, but I think more so than any other year, you may gain an advantage on some of these win-in prices because typically there's so much home court baked into those odds and the way those odds are kind of distributed. So I say all of that to say I would advise my clients just to not overthink it. LeBron's winning here, and McKee, do you have the price for LeBron for the Lakers in 6?
Plus 325.
Boom.
Ooh, so you're going.
Wait, Lakers in 6 is plus 325.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that makes sense.
Whoa.
Because you're essentially betting
Sean,
that the
play the lock sound effect
Oh,
followed
really?
by DMX.
So you're saying Lakers in 6? You guys are crazy.
I definitely think Portland's winning some games.
All right, maybe
Let's
one.
move on.
But I feel good
two.
at minus
We've only
1.5.
done 2 of these goddamn series, Sean, and it's just the 1 seeds.
All right,
Move on to the interesting ones.
there you go. Pacers Heat 4-5 series in the East. Pacers plus 260 dog against the Heat. Heat minus 320. Interesting. TJ Warren versus Jimmy Butler, aka Jimmy Buckets. That's kind of an interesting storyline. Miami 3-1 against the Pacers in the regular season. Yeah, Warren, who had kind of been like a bubble hero again, kind of been on fire, but when they went up against Jimmy Butler, he held him to 5-14. Yeah. I like Jimmy Butler. I like this Miami team, but oh man, minus 320 on the Heat. That seems a bit high. What are your thoughts on this series, McKee?
I don't think that that's high because I don't think TJ Warren keeps up his crazy pace as being the Kobe of the Pacers right now. I mean, there's a reason that he was overlooked for so long. I think he comes back down to earth. And this Miami Heat team, they're healthy and they are strong throughout. They have more depth. The Pacers they have Miles Turner, and then they have like nobody behind him in the 5 spot that's worth a damn. I just don't see where their scoring is going to come to outscore the Heat because Oladipo's been injured, Brogdon's been banged up. Jimmy Butler is going to take so much pride in locking down TJ Warren.
Yeah,
I mean, these guys already have a thing. But when Butler, Sean, from Butler with the 76ers, once he gets into the playoffs, he turns into another player. I really do think he's going to be a total lockdown defender, and he already hates TJ Warren. So watch out, TJ. But I think that the Pacers are going to get eaten up by the Heat.
Agreed. And I think if you're looking to do some serious parlays, maybe you pick the Lakers, maybe you parlay it with the Heat here, because I think McKee's right. I think while a square like yourself, Sean, might see that price and say, "Ooh, gobble 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 on the dog," because hungry dogs run faster. And what you don't realize is that Jimmy Butler is the ultimate hungry dog. So yeah, I'm with McKee here. I think I'd be okay even just laying this price. Period.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
They really seem to have the Pacers number. And then again, they're dealing with a bunch of injuries, guys getting ruled out. So yeah, I do like the Heat. 320 felt a little high, but you know what I really like? Heat sweep 4-0. It's plus 440. That's the kind of frisky series price dog I like. So I'm going to take Miami 4-0 in plus 440. I mean, yeah, you're a little crazy there, but I think if they win a couple of these, I could see this Pacers team injured, banged up, kind of get demoralized and just packing it in. McKee, what do you like?
They don't have Sabonis. They still don't have Sabonis.
Yeah,
and it
Sabonis
doesn't look
is
like
out.
He's coming back. And I like this Heat team to just rain threes all over him. So yeah, if you're gonna, I do feel real confident about the Heat. I'm not sure if I feel that confident in a sweep, but plus 440, why not?
Ooh.
What's your what do we got as official play here? You gonna take Miami just the series price? What are you thinking?
That's what I'm doing.
So Kramer, you're gonna play it safe. You
Hold
don't
on,
like
mega
to risk.
whale play. I'm putting 325 units on this.
You guys are just playing the Miami minus 320.
Yeah, I would do. I would go ahead and play it safe. That would be my first choice. If I wanted to get a little more dangerous, I'd say Heat in 5 at plus 270.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'll tie the Heat to one other series, probably another minus 300 range, and get it down to somewhere manageable in the even money, and just put all the units, all those 15 sim units you owe me, Sean.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay, boss. Rockets squaring off against the Thunder. Rockets -160 favorite. Thunder +130. Probably one of the better round one series. McKee, I'll let you kick things off. Which way you leaning? What's your take on this Thunder Rockets matchup?
Well, I mean, the biggest piece of news right now in this is Russell Westbrook has a quad injury. We're not sure, when he's going to be back. He might sit out a game, might sit out a couple games. They're being a little bit, they're not being real open with the information. So if he's out, while I definitely think that Harden can beat OKC on his own. I'm not seeing game odds on the props for how many games it'll go. Because I think they're holding off until they hear more about Westbrook. But I like OKC as the dog here. I think that this is Chris Paul's year. I'm going to go ahead and take OKC as the dog.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right.
Here's the crazy thing. If you look at the series price, the Thunder are the dog. But if you look at game one, the Thunder are favored.
That's interesting.
Well, that's because Westbrook's out.
The Thunder are favored in the first game.
Right.
Yeah, because Russell Westbrook, he's
out
on the Rockets now. Right?
No, I know. I'm sorry. But regardless of that, it still doesn't make sense to me. Like how do you lay?
Well, I think they're imagining Westbrook's only going to miss a game or two, and so that will eventually still allow them to be, favored in the series.
Yeah, I would disagree with that. I'm with McKee.
I think
the game one is a serious concern if you're laying a -160, -150 price, whatever it is, and you see in the first game that you're the dog. There's no home court. There's no getting shit back.
That's true. I mean, but
this price is very wrong one way or the other. This is one of those ones where you say you take the money line or you lay the points, I guess. But
well, it opened at -250. Now it's down to -160. Rockets were 8-6 straight up in the 14 games that Westbrook didn't play. But again, that's a regular season. This is playoff time. That note courtesy Odds Shark. But I think the bubble really rewards teams that are good at draining threes.
It's like the Hunger Games.
It really does. And I think this Rockets team will get hot shooting. It'll be enough to carry them. I do think it'll be a battle. And I do think, I think Russ will come back and give them a couple strong games at the end. I mean, I haven't seen the number of game price, but like over 5.5, over 6 even, or no, that would be crazy. But over 5.5, I think actually is the play in this. If you can find a number on that, but I'm gonna take Rockets -160. So you guys are going Thunder, huh?
Yeah, I'm going Thunder just because this is the dog. I think I would lean on heaviest. With the Russell Westbrook's unknown. Also, OKC is getting Dennis Schroeder back finally. He was out because his wife had out of the bubble because his wife had a baby. He torches the Rockets when he comes in off the bench. That second Rockets unit cannot handle him. I think he's going to be. I think those when they do the 3 point guards with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chris Paul, and Schroeder, that's a really tough thing for the Rockets to guard. Because just so fast and have so many different options as them, and the Thunder can go small with Gallinari at the center and run with that Rockets small ball team. So I just think there's a lot of I feel like the OKC they got a good coach in Billy Donovan. They can throw a lot of looks at the Rockets. Why not take the underdog here?
Well, and I'm saying take Houston -160, but if you like Houston like I do, maybe you wait till after game one, and if Oklahoma City wins that, then there's certainly going to be a juicy price for Houston, and maybe they'll kind of rush Westbrook back. But I still feel good about Houston closing it out at -160.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think if you like Houston, you wait till after game one to bet it, because that price is going to you'll get even money then. You won't have to lay any juice.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take it now up front at -160. But I could see myself doubling down like a
#Legends only.
All right, we're gonna get to the second half of the series. Just a real quick shout out to Ace Per Head. That's right. You hear us throwing out these spreads, throwing out these picks, throwing out this NBA action. Instead of we could be betting this over at mybookie.ag, which we're doing, but maybe you could become the next MyBookie. You could start your own sports book. All you got to do is go to aceperhead.com/SGP, aceperhead.com/SGP. Get started today. Ace is offering up to 6 weeks free. They got live betting, amazing mobile experience, top-notch customer support going 24/7. Again, you don't need to know anything about running a sports book.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just go to aceperhead.com/SGP. They'll get you set up. They'll get you going. It's a turnkey operation. Don't even have to know how to run a website. They'll take care of everything.
Sean, haven't you always wanted to be the guy that someone knows?
Yes. Become the guy that someone knows. aceperhead.com/SGP. Use that link up to 6 weeks free.
That's a great slogan for these companies.
Yeah. Become the guy that someone knows. Celtics, Sixers plus 335 dogs. I've already been over at MyBookie. I've already wagered some money on this series price because God damn it, I believe the Sixers are due. Embiid averaging 21.3 points per game against the Celtics. That's all I need to hear. I don't care about the Celtics and their better coach and better distributed team. Brett Brown is coaching for his goddamn life. He's against the rails. Like I mentioned in the DFS, Sixers 3-1 against them in the regular season. And Josh Richardson, maybe he can shut down Kemba Walker. McKee, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I hate to burst your bubble, but
you had your bubble burst already with the Suns. Literally,
oh boy, he's getting personal. Personal.
Okay. It's real easy for a team. I wish the Suns were in the East. They'd be making it in the playoffs every season. Embiid is the best player in this series, hands down. And if he's able to play like a locked in Embiid, he is going to take over some games. He's going to destroy them. However, what the problem is when you look at like the second, third, fourth, fifth best players, if in the series, they're pretty much all Celtics. Yeah. You have to get down a ways before you throw in Tobias Harris. I think that Jason Tatum is going to be a huge problem for the 76ers without Ben Simmons there to lock him down. I guess Thibault can guard him. He's a great defender, but he's still a rookie. And if they put their lockdown perimeter defender on him, on Jason Tatum, he's got a lot of other options. I do worry about the Sixers center play. They have some of the worst center defense against Embiid. He's gonna, Embiid can dunk all over Theis, that German asshole. So I would say I'm picking the Celtics to win this, but I do think it'll go to 6. I do think Embiid alone will win 2 games. So go ahead and get that Boston win in 6 at plus 330.
Yeah, Celtics to win in 6 at plus 330. That's kind of juicy. I mean, again, I'm taking the Sixers just to win it all at plus 335. But yeah, you're making a good case here for Boston. Unfortunately, little random nugget, a fun little trend here. Again, if you're a real DJ, and Odds Shark pointing out, Sixers were 6-2 against the spread for first quarter spreads in 8 regular season bubble games, while the Celtics were only 4-4. So maybe a little first quarter lean here for the Sixers. Again, those are always fun. And Sixers were 3-1 straight up and against the spread versus the Celtics for the season overall. Kramer, are you gonna side with the Boston team on the podcast?
Well, this is tough. It's Philly and Boston, 2 teams I hate. But
it's a baby fucking wheel, man.
When you think about the city of Philadelphia, they are the ultimate underdog city, right?
Yes.
Even to this day, they have been aspiring to be a true coastal town, and they are not. They've always aspired to be New York City. They are not. And in this case, they're going up against a similar shit stepsister, redheaded cousin type city of the family. But I can't ever go with Boston. And you kind of sold me on this one simple thing. This team might be too dumb to realize that, like the Simmons thing, he's gone. That might be helpful. It's very clear who the alpha is. If the alpha can be the alpha, he is the alpha on the court amongst all the players, as McKee pointed out. Who cares if players 2 through 7 are on the Celtics? In the NBA playoffs, the team with the best player can and has won series before. I think the Tatum matchup is the one. Now, if someone can randomly step up and do something on Tatum, or he can show himself for the fraudulent, soft, classic Bostonian that he is, adopted Bostonian, perhaps I will ride with you though, Sean, and I'll take it a step.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll take it a step further. Well,
Are you going to give us an exact series price?
I am going to give you an exact series price because
Sixers sweep 4-0. Well, 32-1.
If I'm going to do this, I'm not just going to take the 3 whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the jugular, and I think Boston's butthole goes tight after going down 2-0. They win a game. The series is over at that point. Win in 5 plus 1,400. Sean, Sixers in 5.
Wow. All right, Kramer.
But if you wanted to play it safe, you could play 5 and 6. 6 is 9-1.
Okay.
Anyway,
we don't
hashtag fuck Boston.
We don't advise playing it safe here.
Yeah, cancel Boston.
And we didn't even mention Al Horford revenge spot.
Yeah, big time. You know what? I almost had him in the DraftKings lineup.
With Simmons out, I think there is a case that they're going to be running big. He's going to get more minutes, and finally, maybe they figure out how to play.
I feel like he was slow and washed up 3 years ago.
Have you seen him and Embiid try to play together?
Yeah, it doesn't work out, but this is going to be different.
I don't think Brett Brown is going to magically finally pull a scheme out of his ass just for now to figure out how to play these guys together.
Embiid's the kid at the table who has his elbows at full 90 degrees. You know, like he doesn't play well with others. He just needs to be the guy.
Nuggets, Jazz, the 3-6 series in the West. Nuggets minus 225 favorites. Jazz plus 185 dogs. Both high elevation teams can't even work a high elevation angle in here.
It's bullshit, man.
Nuggets were 3-0 against the Jazz in the regular season, but the 3 wins came from a combined 11 points only. But it seems like Denver really has their number when it comes to clutchness. Kind of at the found this stat: Jazz were 2-19 on clutch shots against Denver in the 3 games. Jokic, he's kind of gotten the better of Gobert. 30 and 28 points scored in their 3 games.
We didn't talk about. Is this game on Tuesday? Is that why I'm about to say something stupid? I was going to say we didn't talk about this in the DFS segment, but they are playing on the next day. We
did talk about it. We talked about Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, you're right, Michael Porter Jr. But to me, this was a matchup where, in hindsight, maybe we missed because there's going to be some points in these games, right?
This is a 217.5 game 1 total. The Clippers Mavs that you were leaning on a lot for your lineups at 230 the total for the first game.
There's a number of totals that are in the 230 range. So I decided to go with those games.
Lakers Blazers almost there at 228.5, but I do think Jokic has a big game, and I probably will put together a DraftKings lineup with him kind of captaining that spot there.
The Nuggets Jazz is the lowest.
Yeah, 217.5
opening game total.
Well, Pacers Heat, I'm seeing 216 right now, but
neck and neck.
McKee, what are you doing here? This is another one of the interesting 3-6 series.
I agree. Here's the thing, though. I feel like the Nuggets, they were real banged up. Will Barton and Gary Harris were out the whole bubble. Jamal Murray came back about 4 games in, what didn't seem quite right, but played himself into shape. And I got to say, like, Nuggets showed a lot of grit and still being able to pull out some wins against some really good teams. Again, Michael Porter Jr. was a revelation, and with him starting and Will Barton going to his 6-man spot where I feel like he'll be most effective, I really like this Nuggets team, and I don't really like this Jazz team. They haven't been the same since they lost their best 3-point shooter in Bogdanovich. Maybe they finally figure out the Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell backcourt, great. They seem like they're figuring it out now, but they still can't seem to figure out Gobert's ego. He still thinks that he should be playing way more offense, and he like stomps around and pouts. He just needs to focus on defense to be an amazing defensive center. But all of a sudden, he wants to be Embiid. He wants to be like going in the post, and so I think the Jazz are going to have trouble with this. I would go with Nuggets in 5 at plus 390. You could also get them in 6 at plus 350. I like the Nuggets a lot here.
You're soft, McKee. Go all the way. Sweep plus 700.
Sweep the leg,
That's
Johnny.
my pick. I'm with you. It seems like this Utah team has, I would say there's chemistry issue undertones on this team. And I think Denver could everyone's talking about how Portland could be the team that sneaks up on some people. This Denver team is pretty solid. And I would go as far to say teaser alert to the end of the show, but if I may be using a padlock to secure this minus 215 victory. And this might be what you tie up. This might be the pairing with the Heat to get a nice price on a series parlay.
Yeah, and I don't see the series price yet, but I'll take Nuggets minus 1.5 games or whatever the series spread
It's going to be. I would imagine with this series price, we're looking at a minus 1.5 for Denver. Maybe you're paying minus 130 on the juice.
Yeah, pretty close to even, and it probably prices out similarly to McKee's Denver in 5 or 6.
You could probably,
but then you also get it for 7 as well. So.
I would imagine you could play a minus
or no,
2.5.
not 7. Sorry, minus 2.5.
But yeah, play the 1.5.
No, I'm going to play Nuggets minus 1.5 games in the series. They just have their number and they dominate in the clutch. McKee nailed it with the grittiness, everything I like about a basketball team.
They're a first round champion. That's what this Denver team is. I'm excited to see them. I'm very intrigued to see who they're going to match up with in the second round. I'm calling my shot. Lock it up. They're the gun to my head. One team advances, and I can't choose the Bucks.
Bucks.
Even with that, you know what? Even if you include the Bucks, gun to my head,
Kramer.
Nuggets are the first round lock.
All right. I mean, I would have to go with the Bucks there, but I love how you gave yourself like an exclusion and then immediately threw it out.
No, I don't. That team's been weird. I don't know. They've lost infinite more games than the Suns have in the bubble. That's a problem.
The Raptors, and again, huge favorites against the Nets, the 2-7 seed in the East. Minus 30-50 against the Nets, plus 13-25 for the Nets going the other way. This Nets team it's been fun, and they're kind of a fun DFS.
Raptors might be the lock of the first round. Now that I'm thinking about
now, if you're throwing the Raptors in there for sure. I mean, to me, I love this Raptors team. It comes down to can the Nets win a game?
No.
I'm going to say no. I'll take Toronto in the sweep. Keep it simple. McKee, what am I missing here? Are you falling for the bubble hype? Are you going to take the Nets to win a game?
No, I mean, I feel like this Toronto Raptors team is all business. They're going to come in and shut the Nets down. Yeah. There's a lot of hype around how good they played, but it was like the only reason there's hype around it is because people expected them to be so terrible.
Yeah.
And then they weren't. But now they're going up against the best defensive team in the East. Well, second best to the Bucks, but they played the best defense in the bubble. While you could say that the Raptors had a little like offensive trouble in the bubble, I feel like they'll work that out. But I would go with them in the sweep minus 150, or maybe sprinkle a little on the sweep at minus 150 and win in 5 at plus 190.
Ooh, okay. You kind of had your bets there. You can see why people fell in love with the Nets. They were the most profitable money line team in the bubble. Winning you $1,800 in profit if you bet $100 on them every game to win. So you can see why people are fired up. But the Raptors, they were strong too. I mean, 7-1 straight up, 6-2 against the spread.
Well, most importantly, this team knows exactly what to do.
Yeah,
and in a quote like elevated atmosphere. Now, the one question is, we always talk about how playoff basketball is different. Playoff basketball, a one game in the playoffs is worth 1.5, 2 games in the regular season. Is that the same conversion rate in the bubble? because you don't have the crowd. You don't have a lot of things.
It doesn't take
there's
the
No
travel.
travel. You're just like you're getting a golf cart ride to the to the arena. You're not taking a plane across the country.
That isn't something interesting because we always like to play the zigzag theory or kind of examine that, at least in the NBA, and that kind of goes away now because you don't have to worry about the home court, the travel.
The zigzag still works from a motivation, right? Like you become much more motivated to win a game when you're down 2-0. My point was to make that if you can identify some teams that are unchanged enough and like culturally intact from previous runs / have a lot of veterans. This Toronto team's a great example of a team that already has a chip on its shoulder. They play with a chip on their shoulder. They knew what to do here. And I think the Nets on the flip side are just kind of like, woo, spring break.
Oh yeah.
Like, fucking 10-0 and beer pong. Fuck you.
I mean, them getting to the playoffs, I think was kind of their Super Bowl, right? I mean, they went 5-3 in the bubble. I think that any Nets fans or people on the Nets, they already have the champagne popped.
Yeah, I think
for them to get the 7th seed instead of the 8th seed was a huge deal for them. But I think you have to remember about the Raptors also. They came to Orlando 2 weeks before all the other teams because they were allowed to because they're Canadian or something like that. So they've been down there really prepping. I feel like that's why they came out firing on all cylinders and look like quite a team. And then, everybody agrees that Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the league right now. I think he's going to scheme up whatever he needs to for them just to shut down these Nets.
Yeah, maybe the Nets get a game, but I'll say sweep here.
Okay, Toronto 4-0.
Is that
-150?
Can I have multiple mega whale locks in the first round?
You got to save for the end, Kramer.
Okay.
Final series we get to break down: Clippers, Mavs. Right now, Clippers -620 on the series price. Mavs +460. Was doing a little research and I was like, okay, what? I'm gonna go on the Mavs blog and just see. Who is the most optimistic Mavs writer on their site? And even of all the Mavs writers, all the people on Reddit, the most optimistic prediction had the Mavs winning too. So even but they talked a lot of smack on the Clippers just being mercenary all-stars that are cobbled together. If the sports writers can't even talk themselves into a long shot, what is he?
It's not a mercenary.
Oh yeah, I mean he's from Russia, right? So or some sort of Russian. No, well, they're talking about the Clippers basically.
No, I understand.
Oh, okay.
He was a free agent. They gave him money to come join the team, or he traded whatever.
But I mean, he's not Kawhi.
So you're not
Paul
taking
George.
the Mavericks. Is that the long?
No, I got to go Clippers, but I'm trying to see where the value is here. McKee, what are you doing with this series?
Well, Harold just came back into the bubble, so I'm not sure if he's even going to be able to play in this series. He's going to be he and Lou Williams are going to be huge for them and that second unit. That's why I picked the Clippers to win this all before the bubble started. So I'm going to give the Mavericks one game just because I think the Clippers are still working a few things out. So I'll go ahead and say the Clippers win in 5 at +270.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the Clippers have enough vets to know they can probably drop a game. They don't have to go 110% every game because it's not as the pounding isn't as serious. And I think with the Mavs, they have the exact type of team that you see come to the playoffs with a ton of talent and then lose in the first round. And then we talk about how they learned. Oh yeah,
they're going to be frisky upstarts coming into next season.
And next year they'll have they'll have those battle scars from the first round against the vets like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Patrick Beverly maybe, and so I think 440 for the sweep seems fun, but I think to your point, +270 for the win in 5 is probably the better angle. I think they drop one. Luka has a Luka game.
You guys are making good points as to why you should be more conservative, but I'm just going to roll the dice here and say Clippers in the sweep at +440. Yeah. It doesn't feel that crazy that they can pull that off, and at +440, it's worth the dice roll. And we've seen. We mentioned it in DFS. Playoff Kawhi is another sort of Kawhi, and I think that's what they need to knock this match.
And I'll be very intrigued to see what those must-win situations start to look like when it's not a first game at your home building down 2-0. It's
that's a great point.
Third game in one of the same gyms down 2-0.
Well, yeah, and maybe
now I can get the fuck out of the bubble.
Because there's two ways to look at it. One way to look at it is, these teams don't have to, or home court isn't worth it as much, so it kind of favors the dog. The other way to look at it, and I think you're hitting on a good point here, Kramer, is maybe the teams are more likely to be swept because those third and fourth games, they aren't in front of a home crowd that they're worried about being embarrassed or whatever. They don't give a shit. They're in the bubble. They're probably dying to. And underrated angle. As soon as these guys, if you're down 3-0, you know you have no chance of winning this series. As soon as you're let out, you can get any of that sweet pussy that you've been holding out on. You're telling me that's not going to motivate you to lose the game?
I'd say this. I think I think there's some scenarios.
Porzingis has a lady waiting in Dallas right now for him.
I know we're not going to talk about game ones, but if I'm looking at an angle to play, hey, I want to see how a team reacts to adversity. Maybe you take one of these more veteran laden teams falling asleep at the wheel in game one, going down 0-1. Again, this is maybe where you take your Rockets in game two. They get woken up a little bit and say, oh shit, now we got to go. Bucks win the next 4 games. So maybe Magic game 1 money line is the angle. Maybe they come out falling asleep a little bit. Maybe you take, I can't see it in the Clippers scenario, but I think it applies maybe to the Lakers. Maybe they come out a little bit too much J.R. Smith, a little bit too much Dion Waiters and Dwight Howard.
Yeah,
and they fall asleep at the wheel, and then they wake up, and it becomes a situation. So that would be my angle there. But I think, to the original point, sweeps. It feels like a sweep might get more often completed in the bubble because of the reward that the losing team gets.
Get to leave the bubble. We're down
3-0, guys. What the fuck? Let's go home.
On. Exactly. Think about it. The more games, and
that's going to be an interesting handicap.
The dominating team like the Lakers.
You want some days off?
The less games you have to play, the sooner you get out. So they're probably motivated to destroy these teams where maybe they slacked off a little bit before.
Trying to get back to my Twitch streaming. Let's have a couple days off.
Exactly. All right. And make sure you check out NBA Gambling Podcast. McKee will be giving out the game 1 picks. But before we go, we got to do a lock dog tease.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Love that tease by Kramer, the singing. Ryan, real money Kramer, I will let you have the honors of kicking off the lock dog and tease.
Well, I was thinking I'm not going to give you a tease. I'm going to give you a parlay. Yeah. I'll walk backwards.
You can't really tease series.
So if you can't find a way, so my first would be parlay the Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
With the Miami Heat. If you can't find a way to parlay the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets, then I'll give you something that's going to be priced similarly, and that is the Toronto Raptors sweep -150. So I'm giving you
a parlay.
No, I'm giving you an alternative. If you can't find the parlay, take the Toronto sweep at -150. My lock will be Denver -215 or whatever it is, 225.
225.
And my dog, Sean, I don't know where the mask is.
Oh, I'll go grab the mask.
But I'm stealing your thunder, and I'm going to give out a dog of Philadelphia +335.
If you're watching on YouTube, Brian he's got the dog mask on. Hungry dogs. So you're taking Philly.
Embiid, baby. If you're making me pick a dog, that's probably what the dog is. On a straight series price. Otherwise, I'm giving you out like an exact series thing, and I'm not. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
So your lock is Denver -225, dog Sixers +335, and then your parlay is the Nuggets and Heat series prices.
Not surprisingly, my head's too big to wear that dog mask on.
Well, you're wearing headphones.
Too much brain.
McKee, walk us through your lock, dog, and tease.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at doing some of the same things that Kramer was, but I'm going to go ahead and go different. I'm going to go with my lock will be the Bucks sweeping the Magic at -125. My dog is going to be the Thunder winning outright at +170. I think is where is that right now?
I think OKC to win it, the series is +130. It dropped a lot recently. I think it dropped a bunch.
Yeah.
Just because that Westbrook news.
Yeah. And then the parlay I will give out is let's go with the Toronto Raptors sweep.
Ooh.
Parlayed with the Milwaukee sweep.
Okay. Toronto, Milwaukee sweep. Okay, for my lock, what am I going to do for my lock? Okay, so I'll do, I'll do the Denver. I know Kramer gave out Denver series price.
You can copy me. I'm a smart guy.
I was going to do minus 1.5 and give people a little,
there you go.
Little better price.
Denver minus 1.5.
You know what? I'll do Lakers minus 1.5. I mean, or whatever the series spread price ends up being. You should be able to get that and get it at like under minus 200.
All right.
If the series is at minus 435, you can get 1.5 at like minus 200 and under. My dog, of course, obviously the Philadelphia 76ers. And then my parlay, instead of doing a parlay, I'm going to give you a parlay price. Clippers sweep plus 440. Book it. Awesome. It was feeling good to talk NBA action. Of course, go to mybookie.ag, use a promo code SGP. Make sure you subscribe to the newly minted NBA gambling podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, wherever great podcasts are found, and make sure you subscribe and review this great podcast. Spread the word. Football season is coming. In fact, I'm going to throw it out, little bounty. We'll do a hoodie review for the best review that mentions how football is awesome in our iTunes review, just so we know people are watching.
Just
listening.
to be clear, what do they have to do? You said hoodie and review a lot.
Okay, fill out a review, mention how football is awesome, and you will win a free Sports Gambling Podcast hoodie the best hoodie related review. McKee, make sure you check him out on Twitter at the Ryan McKee. Where else can people find you?
You can find me at Ryan McKee on Instagram. You can follow me on my travels as I'm going across America right now. Currently in Arkansas, where my nickname Rich Fat Baby means something way different.
What's up, Sean?
No, nothing. I was waiting for him to say tag.
Yeah, that's the closer right there.
That was the punchline. Come on. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I got you back. Ryan's got to stick together.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast,
especially in these hostile waters.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
I'm so proud of you, Mello.
Kramer, let it ride. All right, fun times.